Ladies and gentlemen, dear international business partners, welcome all of you to this webinar. Just quickly, before I hand over to my colleague, I give you some short important piece of information. As usual, we have muted all of you. But of course, you can always ask your questions by entering them in the question area in your GoToWebinar control panel. And my colleague will, of course, answer your questions at the end of the presentation. So that's now basically all for my part, and I think we can start with the webinar session. And so I hand over to my colleague Edgar Grase. Welcome, Edgar, and it's your turn.
Thank you very much, and good morning from Austria. My name is Edgar, and in our fourth episode of Tips for Working from Home, I'll give you today an overview over the actions that we have set in the last 3 webinars. As I told you in the last webinars, when we finish yodeling in Austria, we go to work as well. And we normally go to our office where we have our own workplace, where we have our tools, where we have our applications, and where we can communicate the short way. So I can go to my colleague and ask him a question and can talk to him and so on. But a few weeks ago, we were forced to work from home. Government said, please stay at home and work from there. And there we had to face some issues. So we had to set up a proper workspace where we can work, where it's quiet, and so on. The company has to enable access to our resources and our applications, like a VPN connection. We had to set up some communication tools where we can talk to each other, because only 7 out of 10 in Austria do have mobile phones. ELO, for 10 people who work for ELO in Austria, and the other 3 don't. So we set up a Microsoft Teams where we can talk to each other and where we can make some online meetings. For preventing the people to use their own Dropbox and Google Drive or OneDrive accounts, you have to set up a platform where the people can store their documents and their information. So we use ELO as our central filing platform, and the employees can use it to store their files and to share the files with each other. The big target was that everybody has the same level of information and the documents are traceable, so we can say in 3 months who did what when with the documents. We now use more of our collaboration tools like the document feed to give some more information to a document, to discuss something related to this specific document. We use more often workflows and tasks, and this was a point because we weren't used to it. We didn't have to use it in the past because we're 10 people in the office, so we only had a workflow for incoming invoices, and the other employees weren't used to it, that they get some tasks in the task area in ELO and the tasks didn't get finished. But we managed it, but more on this later. We can share our ideas and ask questions with our knowledge board. We can also share our own knowledge by writing an article and save it for the future. So everybody in our company uses ELO to store their files and uses the collaboration tools like the document feed. We use our workflows and our tasks, and we use the knowledge board more often. But the big question was, do the people really use those tools? So here we have our 3 employees, and every everybody saves his files to ELO, and everybody uses the document feeds to share more information, and everybody uses the knowledge board to ask a question or share an idea or write an article. But we didn't know how much they used it. So we didn't know how many files are stored in ELO. We didn't know how many feed entries were made in the past. We didn't really know how many questions are asked or information is shared in our knowledge board. But we wanted to. So there were some other questions, like, as I said, are really more documents filed in ELO? We couldn't say, because nobody sat here and did count the documents which are filed. Is the number of feed entries increasing? It should, because they have to use it. But are there really more feed entries now? Or in the knowledge board, on what topic are the most questions asked? When there are many questions about working from home, or are there more technical questions like how to set up a VPN connection to the office? Or another example, we made a webinar series with tips for working from home. Do we now have more inquiries? Do customers now say, hey, cool tool, we want it too, don't they? And the big question that we had was, why aren't the tasks done? So, as I said, people weren't used to it, to use the tasks. They didn't click in and looked, oh, I have 5 tasks in my task area. We managed it by using our email notification. So we enabled the email notification when you get a task in your task area. The person gets an email and sees, oh, I have a new task in my task area. So we could decrease the time until the task was ended. But the big question was, are the actions that we have set when they now work from home are really accepted? Do the people use our tools that we set up for working from home? And why do they use it, or don't they use it? So we thought about this question, and then we said, hey, we could use ELO Analytics for this. ELO Analytics comes with standard ELO, it's included, and you can use it for many things. And we used it to see if the actions that we set are really accepted. So we set up a dashboard. You can access the dashboard by clicking here in your starting screen from ELO. There's a dashboard. That's the dashboard for the overview. And when you click on the dashboard, then the data actually, they're live. So we can see in the left area here the documents which were filed in the last weeks. And as we can see, there are more files stored in ELO. That's good. The number of files stored the last week is 6,430, and the documents filed today are 57. So that's okay. Today is Friday. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. That's good. On the right side of this dashboard, we see the information about ELO knowledge. We see here which topics are asked in knowledge in the last 7 days, I think. And there we can see the most important topic now is home office. There are 9 questions asked. The next is about personal files or something. then working time, then community, and then FAQ. The number of questions asked is here. There were 26 questions asked. No, they are answered now. So that's the number of questions which are answered, which are finished, and 3 questions are not answered yet. And here we see the posts for topic home office. So we see the 50% of the posts are questions. 15 articles were written and 6 ideas were posted. So as we can see, this dashboard is for getting an overview if the actions that we set are really accepted. So how do you set up a dashboard with ELO Analytics? In the first part, or the first step you make is select your data, like selecting all posts in knowledge or something. When you have select your data, you can filter them. You can set filters by date or something. You can say, give me the or show me the posts from the last 3 weeks or something, and only the posts which have as topic home office. Then you can calculate fields. You don't have to, but you can calculate fields. You can say how much did the questions in home office increase in comparison with the last 3 weeks or something. And then you can visualize them. And for visualization, you have a few possibilities. You can make diagrams like an area, horizontal bar, pie, line, and so on. You can show your data with a data table, or you can make a metric for that where the 26 questions answered. That's a metric. That's the number which you can see, and you can compare them to other numbers and so on. So when you have visualized your data, you can arrange them on a dashboard. This dashboard is a dashboard from a customer from us who wanted an overview from his order data. How many orders did we receive in the last, don't know, weeks? So he created his own dashboard. He made some visualizations like the horizontal bar for the employees. And as you can see, the red ones are orders to be done. They are not finished yet. And the other colors, which you don't see, have different states. So you can see here we have 5 employees. The first one and the third one, they really have a huge workload. The fourth one, I think he's new. He doesn't have to do something with, or not so much with orders. The pie shows him the overall overview of his orders, which have to be done or are done or have different states. So he can see we have 425 orders, and most of them aren't finished yet. And here he has the data. And the big advantage is, the big benefit is that you can access the dashboard not only from your notebook, but you can access it from your smartphone or your tablet as well. So you can look on the dashboard even when you're not in the office or when you're in the home office, and you get a live overview over, in this occasion, the orders which have to be done. You can access the dashboard by an icon which is added to your ELO. When there is a dashboard which you can access, where you have the rights on it, then it will appear on your ELO start screen. So we have many possibilities with ELO Analytics. As I showed you, the dashboard was we analyzed if the actions that we have set are accepted. On the other hand, the other dashboard that you saw, how many orders do we have? And with many ideas with ELO Analytics, so you can make a visualization for how many documents are filed in the last 3 weeks or 10 weeks, like we see here. And with 3 departments, sales, marketing, and finance. And as we can see, the sales department stores more files, the finance department stores more files, but the marketing department stores less. And now we can think of it, why? Why do they store less documents? Why is it decreasing and not increasing? Maybe they don't have so many documents that they can file now, or there are less people in the department, or it's much too complicated for them. When it's much too complicated for them to store their files to ELO, maybe they should use another client. They should use the desktop client instead of the web client or something, so that they can store their files directly from Microsoft Office to ELO or something. So you can set some actions on a visualization like this. Or another example, knowledge board. As we saw, you can make a donut in this case, where you can analyze how many questions are asked in the last 3 weeks. And here you see a third of the questions is about home office. So maybe you should write an article about working from home, set up a proper workspace, how to enable a VPN connection to the company, and how to manage working time from home or something, so that the questions do decrease and the people get the right information. And this one is, it's from us, but the numbers aren't for real. When are tasks done? The average time when a task is done in our office was around 3 to 4 days. As you see, 3.5 to 3.7 days. When we started to work in home office, the time increased significant. So there were 2 more days added. That's for 2 reasons. One reason was more people use workflows, so there are more workflows in the system, but the people who were new to using workflows and tasks didn't look into the task area and didn't finish the tasks that were in it. And as I said before, we managed it by using our email notification, so they get a notification when a new task arrives, and the time for ending a task is decreasing now. So what can we do with ELO Analytics? We can make comprehensive evaluations. We can analyze data which are stored in ELO, beginning from or starting from basic information like when is the file stored, to some index fields where there is the value of the order from the customer inside. And you can calculate them and so on. You can make individual dashboards for every use case. So when you're in the sales department, then there will be maybe a forecast dashboard for your sales department. And when you're in the marketing department, then you have a dashboard for social media. How many people do I reach every week or something? And one point is that you can change them. You can react to a new situation, and you can say, okay, we don't have a dashboard for how many files are stored in ELO and how many questions are asked in the knowledge board, but you can create it so that you get an overview if the people use those actions and those tools that we have set up. So you can recognize trends and set the right actions. Why are less files stored now? Don't they have any file to store, or is it too complicated for them? And then you can set the right actions. And you can measure your actions. So as I said, the time for ending a task in our workflows was increasing. Then we enabled the email notification, and then we saw the time is decreasing now, so the action that we set is accepted now. So which targets do we meet with ELO Analytics? We have modern analytics technology. So to analyze data which are stored in your ELO, you can make comprehensive evaluations. All of your data stored in ELO, starting from basic information to some index fields or something, and you can combine them. ELO Analytics uses the ELO rights management with groups and roles, so that you can set the rights for only one department. So only one department has a dashboard or visualization. They can only analyze data which they can find, and so on. You can make individual dashboards, and you can visualize your data and arrange them as needed, and you can change them when you need something different. So you can use visualizations that fit for every occasion, the right visualization. So you can make a line when you want to see how's the time for ending tasks, and you can make a metric when you want to see how many questions are asked in the last 3 weeks. And the data which are analyzed in ELO Analytics, they are up to date. So you open your dashboard and you see live data. It's not like getting the reports from the day before yesterday. No, you see it up to date. And as we saw in our own dashboard, there are 57 files stored in ELO today, and it's 9 o'clock or something. So I think the number is increasing now. I hope so. Well, this was how we use ELO Analytics to get an overview and to see if the actions that we have set are accepted. And yeah, now it's time to ask some questions. And if there are no questions, then I say thank you for your attention.
Yeah, so Edgar, thanks a lot.
Oh, there's one question.
Yes.
How to see the webinar again? I think Melanie can tell you more about it. Melanie, are there English?
Yes, the English records are also on the homepage to find.
Okay. So no more questions. Thank you for your attention.
So thanks all of you. And I think that is basically all now. Thanks for taking part in this webinar, and bye-bye.